Sam called his friends Reena and Sandosh the chubby. He asked both of them to reach the college with the needed items and assemble in room number 308 on the third floor. Their motive behind the secret mission is to make this mask day memorable for lovebirds in their gang, Raj and Priya. Their friends were eager to celebrate their first anniversary commitment. All of them were going to graduate this year and were now preparing for placements, waiting for a good company to choose them so they could spread their wings. Despite the tension, it didn't disturb their happy mood or their commitment to being good friends. Reena, a very talkative yet cute girl, enjoyed teasing Chubby. She would punch him whenever he cried unnecessarily, often mentioning that his father had great hopes for him. This always brought smiles to the gang. Still, she protected him from others who tried to bully him. She had a principle of being a good friend, and together they made their gang lively and cheerful. Raj and Priya, the lovebirds, were always together in everything they did. Sam, a passionate programmer, always found it interesting to dive into books and create new codes. When they all came together, the occasion could never be less cheerful. They arranged flowers in all corners of the classroom, feeling happy as the classroom had been cleared for some reason, so it's quite easy to decorate it. Possibly for room renovation, as Chubby suggested. Reena gestured for him to speak in a low volume, lest the watchmen find them. Chubby agreed and placed a finger on his lips. Sam placed the cake on the center table and asked Reena in his husky voice when the Master celebration would start. Reena replied, "At 10." Chubby then asked if they knew when their placements would start, to which Reena gave him a stare but continued pasting the names of Raj and Priya on the wall. Chubby, in his emotional way, started to say his favorite dialogue. "My father has great expectations from me." And Reena ran to him and punched his stomach. He flinched in pain, and Sam gestured for both of them to be silent. Chubby tried to catch Reena, but she ran away. Sam attempted to stop them, but both left the room. He saw that the decorations was almost complete and smiled, thinking, "It's my mistake to bring two mental patients along with me on this secret mission." He then went near the parapet wall and looked down. Students began to show up in masks, and as a gang, they had chosen the red color, which stood out among the crowds of people in pink and grey. Their college had celebrated Mask Day since 1970, the year the college was founded, though none of them truly knew the reason behind this tradition. On this day, everyone had to wear a light colored dress and put on face mask, celebrating while being shielded from the judgmental eyes of others, promoting the idea that people shouldn't judge one another. Sam decided to send a text to Raj to see where he was. He received an image in response, showing Raj and Priya posing for a selfie with a caption on the way. Sam smiled and said, "Where is my love? When will I find her? Only then can I share an image with them and say, 'Okay, dude.'" He gestured to the sky, as if heaven were eagerly awaiting his order for a suitable bride. Then he entered the floor to check if anyone was arriving. This floor was under renovation. All the other rooms had undergone complete interior changes. However, room number 308, for some unknown reason, remained relatively untouched. Aside from removing the tables and chairs, it only held a wardrobe filled with books, a central table, and three chairs. Their positions had been slightly displaced now due to their decorations. Riya got ready with her red umbrella cut kurti and black leggings. Red heels completed her ensemble. She combed her hair and studied her reflection. For years, she had been in search of a suitable life partner, while her mother persistently tried to erase her individuality. Red was her favorite color, but her job as an HR professional required her to wear light colored or black business attires for at least 8 or 9 hours a day. When that time ended, her mother presented a placard of advice proclaiming that a modest bride should avoid bright reds and refrain from consuming ice creams as it would lead to weight gain, an unforgivable sin for a bride searching for a life partner. She should not laugh too loudly, sit in a certain way, or walk differently. The list went on and on and on. However, today, she felt the need to be herself, her true self. Her task for the day was to meet the college principal to discuss placement procedures, a discussion that would last barely half an hour. Furthermore, the college was celebrating Mask Day today, so it was acceptable for her to dress casually instead of wearing a business attire. In addition, her mother had gone to a restaurant to reserve a table for 6 people, a suitable match arriving with his family. A suitable match, at least according to her mother and the matrimonial site's algorithm. Rhea sighed. She had no way to escape this other than giving off the vibe that she was occupied today. She felt drained from meeting unknown people, a task that initially seemed exciting but had now made her feel as if she were fading away from her true self. It was often said that miracles happen when we accept ourselves. So today, she asked herself, is there any surprise waiting for me? Rushing to her car, she noted that the time to meet the college principal is at 9:30 a.m. However, it was only 7:30 now and there were still 2 hours to go. This didn't deter her from setting off on the journey towards the college. Arjun, in his red shirt and black jeans, he adjusted his hair and admired himself in the mirror. He is in good shape and he loved his smile the most. Upon reaching his car, he received a text from his cousin, who worked as a lecturer in an engineering college. His cousin invited Arjun to participate in the Mask Day celebration. Arjun believed that life was an everyday script, changing from one second to the next. This perspective often led his other friends to conclude that Arjun was not practical. However, he wasn't willing to compromise his identity for any reason. He started his car and drove towards the college. His cousin shared the location, so Arjun followed it to enter the college. As he arrived, he could see students dressed in pink and white attires. But he couldn't see anyone's face because they all have black colored face mask. He now understand why his cousin insisted he wear the red shirt. He smiled and thought, okay, life, what wonder do you have in store for me today? And proceeded towards the first floor. Some students asked him to wear a mask, and Arjun, who loved trying new things, accepted and put on a mask. Meanwhile, on the other side of the corridor, Riya entered the first floor wearing a mask and texting the principal. Absorbed in her mobile screen, she bumped into Arjun and her phone dropped. She said, sorry, as she picked up her phone, which thankfully wasn't significantly damaged, just a small scratch on the touch screen. As she was the one who had bumped into him, she felt uneasy and attempted to say something. Suddenly, someone from behind grabbed her and tied her hands. She couldn't remove her mask. And similarly, Arjun found himself in a similar situation. Chubby and Reena were dragging them without saying a word. Riya shouted, who is that? What do you want? Arjun, experienced in fights, tried to remain calm to assess the situation. He wondered if this was all a setup by his cousin to get him to meet a girl for a matchmaking ceremony. Arjun hadn't been interested in these meetings for a while, but was still interested by this one. He glanced at her. Sam opened the door to room number 308 and pushed them both into the room. Arjun landed on a cushion like surface which seemed prearranged. Riya fell on top of him. And Arjun said, Miss, you should not take advantage of the situation to touch me. And smiled. Riya got annoyed and replied, what? Am I taking advantage or did you plan all this beforehand? If not, why do you seem so happy being kidnapped? As they argued, Sam along with Chubby and Reena, closed the door and spoke loudly. Raj, my friend, it's our surprise gift for you. Lovebirds. Reena added, Priya, enjoy, eat cake and talk as much as you want. We will guard this place. Upon hearing this, Arjun burst into laughter. Riya somehow managed to get up from on top of him and freed her hands from the small rope. She urgently requested him to open the door. Reena asked, What happened to your voice, Priya? Don't panic, we are here. We just wanted to gift you both some time alone. Riya grew annoyed. Oh, okay. I'm not Priya, you idiots. Open the door right now. Arjun calmly said, It's okay, miss. It's just a small mistake they made to give their friends a lovely time. Arjun managed to free his hands from the rope and removed his mask. Riya saw him, a towering figure at over 6 feet. While she was 5'8", she somehow reasoned that out. He had a warm smile with captivating dimples, but she didn't let her face reveal any signs of being smitten by his handsomeness. He looked at her with an expression of visible happiness as he approached. Riya moved back and he stopped just before she would bump into the cake that was already arranged with the names Raj and Priya. Arjun assured her, Miss, don't panic. I won't do anything inappropriate to you. Riya replied firmly, Even if you try, I'll make sure I stop you. Arjun found it interesting that this woman didn't hesitate to defend herself. Quite unlike the woman he had seen in matchmaking ceremonies, he smiled and silently thanked his cousin. Riya clapped her hands and called for help. But Arjun calmly informed her, Don't waste your energy, miss. Those students are guarding the place and no one can enter anytime soon. Let's just play along with life. Riya responded with a disgusted look. Of course, you can play alone. See, there are more balloons in the corner. Go and play. I've got work. I'm the placement officer and I came here to meet the principal. Arjun chuckled and Riya gave him a stern look. He gestured as if to say sorry. Riya called out once more, Is anyone here? Hello? Her mobile rang and even with the scratch on her phone screen, she could clearly see her mother calling. She gestured to Arjun not to speak, placing her fingers on her lips, and Arjun sat in a chair like a well-behaved child. For some reason, Riya smiled, and Arjun smiled back. Riya answered, No, Mom, I'm busy. I couldn't come today. Her mother started a lecture, and Riya took her mobile away from her face, then said, Mom, I couldn't hear you. Mom, and disconnected the call. Arjun gave her a smile and asked, So you're good at lying, Miss Placement Officer? Riya smiled and answered, Who wouldn't be after meeting unknown people to find suitable life partner? I'm just fed up with all that. So now I'm trying to avoid it. Who can prove me wrong? Arjun smiled and inquired, Then how did you agree to meet me here? Riya got confused and asked, What do you mean? I don't even know you. I'm not here to meet you unless you're going to say that you are the principal of college who tried plastic surgery and other high techniques to look young and handsome. The last word stumbled out of her mouth, but she regretted speaking the truth. Riya adjusted her posture so Arjun wouldn't have a reason to tease her. Arjun smiled and he seemed to understand that it wasn't his cousin but life, playing its cards carefully. He thought he should play along, helping life create a wonderful unfolding in his life. He walked towards her, and for some reason, Riya's heart began to beat faster. He stopped about half a foot away, which made Riya feel at ease. He introduced himself. I'm Arjun. You're? Riya relaxed and said, Riya. Arjun commented, I'm not the principal in his 50s trying to look young and handsome. Riya gave an embarrassed smile, but he emphasized handsome several times. Sam? Happily eating snacks. While Shabby and Reena were on duty to divert some students from this floor under the pretext of renovation works, Sam received a mobile notification and checked that message and wondered, it's from Raj. and he mumbled, "Why is this idiot texting me now? Doesn't he talk to his love of life?" After reading the message, he hit Chubby's head, and Chubby asked, "Why are you hitting me now?" Reena said, "Because you are a punching bag, Chubby." Sam looked at her and said, "Who said it was Raj and Priya?" Chubby and Reena were both confused. Sam explained, "We locked some other people in there." Chubby and Reena both shouted, "What?" They rushed towards the room. Reena asked, "Why do you say so?" He stopped and, while panting, showed the message from Raj. Their car had broken down and would take another hour to get here. Chubby, still panting, started to say his dialogue. "My father had great hopes for me. What I'm doing here?" Reena became furious and kicked him in the foot. The three of them rushed to the door, trying to open it. Riya listened to the sounds, came running to the door, avoiding Arjun, and shouted, "I'm not Priya, and this man here is not Raj. Open the door." Reena somehow managed to say words. "Sorry, friend, we'll get you out of here in no time. Don't worry, we will take care of it." Riya, with a confused look, asked, "Who is your friend?" Reena said, "It's okay, it's our mistake, but we are college mates. We can address each other as friends, not a criminal act." Riya answered back, "I'm not your college mate. I'm the placement officer, came to meet your principal." Chubby became unconscious. Reena tried to balance him. Sam adjusted his specs, his face turning red, heat rising to his neck. He finally mustered the courage to say, "Ma'am, we are sorry. Please don't make a complaint against us. We are in final year of college." In a lower tone, Reena asked Sam, "Do you want to give your address to her so that she won't find it difficult to exclude us from her list?" On hearing that, Chubby started to cry, saying, "Oh my God, my father has great expectations from me. What have I done here?" Sam gestured to Reena to handle Chubby, and she punched him in the right cheek to silence him. Riya said, "It's all right. Can you now please get us out?" Sam said, "Yes, ma'am. We'll get both of you and your husband out of this room right now." Riya looked at Arjun and sighed. Arjun smiled and said, "Maybe they find us more compatible together." Riya said, "Oh, really? Don't tell me you planned all of this with them and are now acting good." Arjun said, No. I just try to interpret the situation from their point of view." Riya gestured for him to stop. Arjun signaled his surrender to her. She couldn't help but smile. Riya asked, "May I know your name, please?" Sam swallowed his words. Reena said from his side, "Don't tell my name, tell only yours." Sam hesitated. Arjun came near the door and said, "We're not a couple. I came here to meet my cousin, your lecturer, Mr. Raghav." Reena leaned on Sam and said to him quietly, "My project report is still on his table and I haven't got it signed. I can see myself running in the same corridor where he will ask me to redo it 1,000 times as a punishment for getting his cousin trapped in the room. Oh my God." Sam gave a sorry expression, and Chubby started to speak his lines. But Reena closed his mouth and gestured for him to stop. Chubby took a deep breath and nodded. Arjun asked, "Hello, can you hear me?" Sam adjusted his glasses and shared all his ideas for gifting their friends a lonely time. Arjun smiled on hearing all this and said, "We understand you and your friendship. After all, love is meant to be thrilling yet beautiful." Looking directly at Riya, she tried to break his eye contact and knocked on the door, saying, "Open the door. I won't do anything to harm you guys." Arjun responded, "We both respect love, and I promise not to tell my cousin about all this." Reena said, "Thank you, sir. You're an angel." Arjun asked Riya to hear that, to which Riya replied, "The devil was also an angel." With every one of her dialogues, Arjun found it hard to take his heart away from her. Sam tried to open the lock, but stopped, and Reena asked, "Why is it taking so long to open the lock?" Sam gestured to the door lock and said, "When did it change to a digital lock?" "And why didn't you notice that before closing the door?" asked Reena. Sam knocked on the door and said, "Sir?" Arjun answered, "Have you opened it?" Sam explained, "Sir, the door lock has changed to a digital one. Only the principal or anyone else could open it, I guess." Ria was annoyed but managed to keep her tone friendly as she asked, "Why didn't you realize it before locking us in?" Sam replied, "Ma'am, some renovation works are going on. That's why we didn't know." Arjun smiled and Ria gave him a stern look before saying, "Okay, this lock has a key facility too. Go and get the guards. They may have the key." Sam gestured to Reena and Chubby to find the watchman and said, "Please wait for some time. We'll sort it out soon, ma'am." Ria sighed and sat down in a chair. Arjun asked, "Do you want some cake?" Ria declined, but a smile appeared on her face, which Arjun noticed. He inquired, "Why do you feel happy and not happy?" Ria explained, "Matrimonial science and my mother's rules for being a suitable bride. I can't eat some delicacies according to the marriage market." Arjun sat down in a chair opposite her and commented, "So you give up all your pleasures to be a wife? That's funny." Ria felt uncomfortable sharing her life details with a stranger, but noticed that this man had something in his aura that made her say things she never meant to say or would never say otherwise. Ria answered, "Not me, but the society has certain standards. And what should I do?" Arjun replied, "Make a choice to be yourself. It's better." Arjun continued, "I'm even a victim of such standards." Ria gestured at him, asking how. Arjun explained, "I got rejected by some 10 women just because I don't have an active social media account where they breathe air daily living through social media." Ria asked, "So, did you open any social media accounts?" Arjun replied, "No, I won't. I don't like it. I love being myself and respect other people with all their likes and dislikes." Ria sighed and said, "I got rejected, or to be precise, I made them reject me by expressing my ideas about life. They are searching for a bride who is calm, rich, owns property in her name, and fits their desired height, weight, and skin color. Most importantly, the bride should forget she has a brain and a mouth. They just want me to be a toy bride, which completely contradicts when I speak my mind after pretending to be calm for a while." Arjun listened carefully and commented, "That's good, you really made your point." Ria replied, "According to you, at least. I made my point. But my mom believes I'm being influenced by wrong ideas about individuality." Arjun responded, "In fact, I respect a person with individuality." Ria smiled. Reena came running to Sam, saying, "The watchman has the keys, but he isn't giving them to us. He mentioned that the semester answer sheets are inside, so he cannot give them to us." Sam felt like a bullet had struck him in the chest. He thought about every situation where they could be charged against college rules, even the possibility that they tried to tamper with their semester examination sheets. Reena looked confused and nervous. Chubby began to say his lines, and Sam gestured to Reena to punch him, which she did on his left cheek. Sam told them, "Come on, guys, we need to sort this out." Reena asked, "Yes, what's your plan?" Sam adjusted his glasses and said, "Go and steal the keys." Chubby's eyes widened. Reena explained, "Desperate situations calls for desperate measures, right?" And she dragged Chubby by his shirt. Sam stood in the corridor to divert any students from accessing the floor. Reena somehow managed to get the watchman to leave his room on the pretext of being called by the principal. Chubby succeeded in getting the keys and began to say, "My father has great expectations from me, but now I'm turning into a thief, stealing keys." Reena controlled her urge to punch him and asked, "Do you think our parents conspired together to turn you into a thief? You always tell your dad has expectations. What do you think about my parents? Will they ask me to steal goods to bring in money to our house? Do you think Sam's parents will ask him to become a hacker to override security systems in banks and loot money? Stop saying this dialogue anymore, or you will need another face to face my punch." Chubby gave an embarrassed smile. Reena said, "Time is running out," and grabbed the keys from him and started to run. Chubby followed, asking, "Why do we have to run?" Reena replied, "Because the watchman will come back soon and we have to keep the keys in their possession or we will be blamed for lying, idiot." Chubby started to run faster. They bumped into Sam and all three went straight to the third floor. Some students followed, so Sam stopped Chubby and Reena and turned to the other students asking, "Why are you guys following us?" They answered, "Is everything okay?" Sam adjusted his glasses and said, "Everything is okay with us. Get back to your business." In no time, he reached the room and opened the door, and Riya and Arjun stared at them. Riya noticed Reena and Chubby and asked Chubby, "What happened to your face? Why is it all swollen?" Chubby answered, "It's the side effect of being in a group that doesn't appreciate emotional persons," and said, "Sorry, ma'am." Sam and Reena followed him, apologizing to both Riya and Arjun. Arjun shook hands with Sam, hugged him, and said, "Thanks." Sam gave a small, confused smile. Riya started to call the principal but received a text from him saying the meeting could be done tomorrow. She sighed. Arjun asked, "Is everything okay?" Riya turned back and saw Arjun coming towards her. She smiled and said, "Yeah, I'm fine." Arjun asked, "Won't your mother ask you to meet the person she has selected for you?" Riya said, "Yeah, she would. Maybe I've got a choice to make," and looked at Arjun, smiling. Arjun couldn't interpret the meaning of her smile, and he followed Riya. Both of them were separated by some college students who wanted them to buy balloons. Still wearing their mask as part of the Mass Day celebration, Riya got a balloon from them, and Arjun did too, gesturing his hands as if he would get balloons, and then got one. Both came together again, and Arjun sighed and said, "What if I miss the chance to ask you this?" Riya gave a confused look, and Arjun continued, "Can you appreciate me being myself?" Riya nodded in agreement. Arjun continued, "I can appreciate you too. So why don't we get to know each other more?" Riya, with a slight smile, asked, "Should I make a choice right now?" Arjun answered, "A wise one indeed." And his heart started racing fast. Riya, before answering him, saw a quote on her balloon that read, "Some miracles happen unexpectedly." She smiled and asked Arjun to read his balloon's quote. He sighed and showed it to her. "Some miracles happen unexpectedly." She saw some students approaching with balloons but with different quotes. Arjun said, "Not me. Life wants you to, or wants both of us to make a wise choice." Riya smiled and said, "Okay, let's meet tomorrow." Arjun smiled and his heart danced inside. Both exchanged their phone numbers. Suddenly, they saw the three students running towards them, apologizing once again. Arjun winked at them and gestured thanks. Riya smiled at them and told them, "It's okay. Just go and celebrate your Mass Day." She added, "After a week, my company comes here for placements. Don't worry, I won't harm you. Just prepare well." All three nodded happily. Arjun said to Reena, "Tomorrow your project reports will be signed. Don't worry." Reena looked surprised, and Arjun smiled. Riya and Arjun left the college campus soon, both happy and light in their souls. Arjun, though happy, found that his self acceptance brought him his wife and chuckled. He received a text from his cousin asking if he reached the college, to which Arjun replied, "I got an appointment from life with my better half. Sorry." Sam asked both Chubby and Reena if they cleaned the room completely, removing all the decorations, and both nodded yes to it. Reena asked about Raj and Priya, And Sam explained that they were still in the mechanic's garage. Rena, with her hand on her chest, said that the idiots had reduced her lifespan by at least 3 years. Sam smiled and Rena kicked Chubby's food and smiled together. Moreover, my heart would have jumped out in fear of getting caught while I ran back to Watchman's room to return the keys, sighed Rena and smiled. Sam clapped his hands and said, Let's celebrate Mass Day now. And the three ran towards the crowd of students in pink attire. On the way back home, Ria felt very happy, a feeling she hadn't experienced in years. She was no longer tense about dealing with her mother. She felt confident and couldn't believe she had found someone who could truly respect her as a person rather than seeing her as an object that came with valuable assets. She remembered Arjun's words. Life plays the cards carefully and we need to play along. Ria smiled. The end. So, friends, I really hope you enjoy the story. So, always remember life is playing with us. So, it is our responsibility to make clever strategies to play with life. So, friends, give it a thought. By telling you all this, your moon friend is vanishing with a very last question to you guys. Friends,